It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
It's NBA basketball on 2K Sports. We're glad you can join us on this exciting. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And joining us in a bit later from the sidelines, Doris Burke. Glad to have you with us. We're broadcasting live from Boston, the home of the Celtics. And, of course, Marcus Smart. Even without him over the short term, they've really come together and are playing some pretty good basketball.
And as shocked as people are that they would trade away a player of his caliber, Kevin, they didn't just let him go for nothing. They got a lot in return. I think it's a deal that's going to really help them down the road.
And that's the idea. You know, you want to build a foundation on which this team can continue to move upward. So certainly some fans unhappy to see him go, but fans will be patient, and they also continue to be fans.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. And so in the game for the Hawks, Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. Teague and Korver are the guards, and it's Cephalosha in at the 3 spot. Last season we saw Al Horford rounding back into form. Good to see that after what had been his second season-ending pectoral muscle tear back in late 2013.
Exactly. I mean, the Hawks just had to bide their time while their best player was out. You saw once he returned, though, he makes a big difference for them.
Shot clock at 3. And he comes off the screen to bury the jump shot.
Just the height separation on that mid-range jumper. Excellent job of taking advantage.
And Teague, here we go. And that one goes long.
And for me, Horford, one of the most unappreciated stars in the league. When he's healthy, he's every bit the franchise player because he really has no weakness. He does pretty much everything well on the floor.
Now, here's Bradley. Jeff Teague unable to get his shot to go. Sullinger with a screen for Thomas. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. That's on Jeff Teague.
And Horford, I mean, this guy does it all on the floor. But for me, his leadership, that's one of those real intangibles. And he's unselfish, all about his teammates and completely focused on winning. So when your best player has that commitment, it has to rub off on the other players.
Now, here's Teague. He's coming off a 16-point game against New Orleans. Passes it to Horford. And that one's drained from the low block. Horford's got his first 2 points. Here is Thomas. 9 points last game out. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. And it's Jordan. That time on the assist by Bradley. Jordan's got his first 2 points of the night.
Not a good idea to let him get such good position in the paint.
It's more than a bad idea. It's real trouble. I mean, he'll make that 10 out of 10 times.
Now, here is Cephalosha. He had 13 points in the win against New Orleans.
And he also made his presence felt on the defensive side as well. 3 block shots were registered in that game.
The Celtics have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Outside Thomas. Sullinger right side. And there are the Celtics with another basket.
Really nice way to get your first bucket of the day.
Teague against Thomas. Teague kicks to Cephalosha. from the line. And that's collected by DeAndre Jordan. Celtics leading by 4. Guys, they've been getting it done.
They sure have been. I mean, really looking good and sharp offensively.
They came out with a mission, and they have been tough to stop.
Bradley, no one around him. And he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
Now here is Horford, coming off a stellar performance against New Orleans.
Just a major size difference between the defender and shooter on that possession.
And Greg, without a hand in his face, he's simply going to spray whoever's there.
Here's Thomas. They lead by 4. Sullinger, the screen. Second chance shot. And Jordan with the layup. Jordan's got his second bucket.
Now that's how you pick up second chance points. Stay active and be ready as soon as the shot goes up.
T kicks to Corver. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Millsap a screen. Pass to Corver. Outside Teague for the 3. Tries to keep it alive. And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. You look at Atlanta. They like where they stand right now, perched in that topmost position. And, of course, the Boston Celtics. Not really any threat right now as their record showing a lot more losses.
And, you know, for the Celtics, they're in the mix for a playoff spot, which is definitely a positive. But I'm sure they'd like to have had their hands around that spot a little tighter than they do.
For sure. I mean, it's certainly not a sure thing at this point. They've got work to do yet.
The Hawks were fantastic last season. After the All-Star break, they did slip up a bit, struggled against teams over 500.
Celtics leading by 6. Outside Thomas. He kicks it to Sullinger. Lets it go from the baseline and nails it. Sullinger's got 8. They lost the last 3 games of the regular season, Clark, and really just limped into the playoffs. Some of it might have just been fatigue.
Yeah, it could have been, and their play at the end of the season did leak into the playoffs, Kevin. I mean, you could see very quickly that they weren't the same team that looked so dominant during the regular season.
And Boston has possession. 6-point game. Defeated by the Pacers in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
And that's one of those games where I just felt the attitude going in was wrong. I think they believed what was being said about them in the press, and that was a game that they just couldn't win.
I'm going to disagree with you here. I don't think it was about lacking confidence in themselves. I just think the talent difference between the teams was too much for them to overcome.
And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Celtics?
And so far, these guys have done a fantastic job finding the opening man and getting some easy baskets.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Zeller, he's checked in for Jordan. C.J. Miles comes in for Jay Crowder. Hunter's checked in for Avery Bradley. And it's Turner in for Thomas. Now here's Schroeder. He had 13 points in the win against New Orleans. After a rookie season in which he really struggled, Dennis Schroeder made big strides last year.
Yeah, I think pretty much dramatic improvements across the board, Kevin. Really a most improved candidate for sure. He solidified that reserve unit for the Hawks, in my opinion.
Amir Johnson's checked in for Boston.
And Schroeder still with room to grow. I mean, he needs to improve his three-point shot and cut down his turnovers. But those are things that often come with time. And he's got time, still very young at this stage of his career.
Now here's Turner. Pass to Zeller. Here's Hunter. Shoots the 3. And he gets it to go. Hunter's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
So far, so good for them at the offensive end here in the early going.
He had a great field goal percentage to start, exactly what they were hoping for.
And for Schroeder, not a great outside shooter yet, but he's an attack guard. I mean, blinding speed, very slippery, eel-like. He gets into that lane and can make a defense collapse in a heartbeat. That alone is where his value is right now.
All right, let's keep it going for your Celtics dancers.
Here's Bazemore. The rebound by Johnson.
The bucket just not well protected, but still he doesn't convert too often. That's been the story with him.
Turner with it. Can't finish the one-handed jam.
Well, he gets it in close, but you have to credit that stifling defense for forcing the miss.
Exactly, Greg. I mean, defense like that really increases the degree of difficulty on that shot by a large amount.
Splitter kicks to Scott. He's looking for Hardaway and finds him. Shot clock at 6. There's the pick. Out of bounds, Hawks ball as Atlanta keeps possession. Here's Scott. And the shot falls short this time.
Awesome defense. I mean, he'll hit those unless you're right in his grill.
And a chance now to go over to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Mike Budenholzer.
Guys, he anticipates they'll be able to take advantage of the perimeter defense they're facing today and convert a lot of easy chances and uncontested looks from the outside. We'll see if they can knock them down, Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Doris.
I definitely can appreciate their approach with the 3-ball.
And stolen by Scott. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. And here's Boston. They're on a 19-7 run. Outside Turner. Hunter, no good.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
Bazemore passes to Scott. Bangs home the trifecta. Scott's got it back down to single digits for the Hawks.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
Now here's Turner. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Boston again missing.
Good pick, but he just couldn't make it count.
Yeah, nice job of setting the screen by his teammates there, and I'm sure he appreciated it.
Assist from Dennis Schroeder. Celtics call timeout.
So the Celtics call timeout. They're first. Well, you have to love the energy and the effort given every night by Kent Bazemore, hustling for loose balls. Greg, a lot like you, actually. Runs the floor like a tornado, can handle the ball, the consummate role player.
Yeah, he really is. And you know, you have to have guys who can be effective without the basketball, Kevin. There's only one out there.
Right.
And you're going to have 5 guys, so you need other areas of the game to be effective. And he focuses on the defense, the rebounding, all those little things that add up to victories.
Shot clock at 2 from deep. Miles can't get it to go. And Atlanta will go the other way with it. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave the white flag.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what will happen when a team continues to attack the basket and come away with layups. The defense tends to get demoralized and deflated. And, you know, going back to Kent Bazemore, he was not a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, was solid and unspectacular in college. Entered the NBA as an undrafted free agent. Exceeded everybody's expectation.
And the Celtics making a change here. Thomas is checked in. Now here's Thomas. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Picked by Zeller. The pass to Hunter. Johnson, a wide open look. And he can't stop the run as he misses.
And getting back to Kent Bazemore, I mean, he will always have a role in this league because of his defense and his positive attitude. He's the kind of guy who gets counted out early and goes on to have a legitimate 10-year NBA career.
And Boston has possession following the bucket by the Hawks. Thomas kicks to Johnson. The dish to Miles. Hunter, the pass to Zeller. Shot left block. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
And that's why the hook shot was invented, to keep your man from getting anywhere near it.
Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. And guys, this is the first they're seeing of Boston.
And they usually came out on top when these two teams faced off last year. No surprise, they're the better team.
Yeah, and very tough to beat when they're playing up to their capabilities. That's why they're one of the top teams in the league.
Boston making a switch here. Crowder's checked in. Splitter sets a screen. Here's Bazemore. It's Schroeder, top of the key. Here's Hardaway. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two.
It's still early on in the new basketball season for Atlanta. Here's where they sit in the NBA stats. Tops in scoring, fourth and second chance points. And they also show up in the top 5 in assists. They've got scores, and they're a pretty good passing team as well.
And you go back to their offense, the most explosive in the league. I mean, everyone talks about the great offense beating great defenses. And I tell you what, they make it difficult to hang with them.
Now here's Thomas. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And here's Miles outside. No luck. And Atlanta will go the other way with it. Feeds to Bazemore. Shoots from 14. And he gets the kind bounce as that one drops in for him. Bazemore's got the game tied up here for the Hawks. Boston's gone just 1 of 4 from three-point range here in the first. Thomas dishes to Johnson. He feeds it to Zeller. Johnson kicks to Zeller. Passes it to Miles. Miles with another miss. They can trade 2 for 1 here.
Would be the right move, I believe, right now.
Bazemore passes to Schroeder. Scott with a screen on Thomas. Hardaway. They grab their own miss. Second chance shot. Scott can't get it to go.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over him.
Zeller dishes to Crowder. Drains the three-pointer. Crowder's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Schroeder kicks to Scott. From 13. Great D that time from Johnson.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
And a chance now to hear from Paul Millsap talking about the confidence of his team.
You know, our attitude approaching the game has been.
Greg, it's got to be more than just attitude, right? I mean, ultimately, don't you have to have guys step up and produce in some cases, or even overproduce?
You do, but really it is about attitude and confidence. I mean, those are the two elements that if you bring to the table, you really will have a chance to beat anyone. And so don't discount that attitude when you're on a roll. They call it getting your swag on today. Back in the day, it was called having your mojo working. Right. So same thing, and you can ride that for quite a ways.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. What do you guys think about the Celtics here in this one?
A lot of tough D being played by them so far. It's been the difference maker.
Greg, no uncontested shots for the most part. That's why they've had success.
DeAndre Jordan is out there with Johnson. Then there's C.J. Miles. Then it's Isaiah Thomas. And it's Crowder in at the 3 slot. That's the Boston 5.
Well, I tell you, last season was a big one for the Hawks and Coach Budenholzer. Their dominant season won him multiple Coach of the Month titles, and eventually he won the Coach of the Year award.
Now here's Jordan. 9 points last game.
I love the ball movement there. He put that on a silver platter. Just served him up.
Thomas against Teague. Picked by Horford. Teague, the pass to Millsap. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got 3 assists now in this one. It was pretty obvious, I thought, Greg, that Budenholzer was the deserved coach of the year. I mean, Steve Kerr, there are a lot of good names you could put in there. But what he's done taking the Hawks to the top of the East, a few saw that coming.
I agree with you. I mean, he has transformed this Hawks team over the past couple of years, has a wonderful team game. And, you know, obviously a lot of influence coming from Pop when he was with San Antonio. But he is really, I think, redefining how the game of basketball is being played at the pro level.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he fixed the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and in a close game, though, guys, those could be really important points.
Here's Thomas following the bucket by the Hawks. A shot by Crowder, no good.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
Korver, no luck. For Boston, they've gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Kicks it to Miles. Dishes it to Johnson. Second shot opportunity, and it's good on the way in. Johnson's got his first basket of the night.
And the defense just gets caught standing around that time and giving up the second chance opportunity.
You know, that just can't happen. They need much more effort than that on the glass.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
And the Celtics with possession here. After the basket by Atlanta. Johnson with a screen on Teague. In the corner, Miles with it. Drains the three-pointer.
He's got so much junk in his trunk. He'll find a way to hurt you.
The Hawks trail by 3. Outside Teague. To the inside. And it's Millsap. That time on the assist by Teague. Teague's got assist number 5 here tonight.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
Here is Miles. 14 points from him the last game against Indiana. And Thomas, here we go. Johnson dishes to Thomas. Johnson kicks to Miles. Miles with another miss.
And he's trying to shoot his way out of it. You know, they have the lead, but honestly, I think it might help if he'd be a little bit more selective tonight.
Now the feed to Millsap. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Millsap's got 9.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Yeah, high percentage shots are what they are getting in terms of the attempts, and that's just not going to get it done. They've got to figure it out.
Johnson, and there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Paul Millsap picks one up. And watching Amir Johnson, Clark, he seems so casual about silently destroying opponents in the paint, and he's carried that air about him almost his entire career.
You know what? He's rarely had plays called for him, Kevin. He doesn't produce a bunch of highlights, but he's really potent. I mean, one of the league's best at defending opponents at the rim, grabbing in-traffic rebounds. Those both are valuable assets.
And talking about Amir Johnson, he's really the last of a discontinued model, if you will. When the Pistons called his name in the 2005 NBA draft, the year before the rookie age limit was put in place, he became the last 18-year-old drafted into our league. And it did take him a number of years to kind of get up to the pro speed.
Guys, did you know not once in Johnson's 10 seasons has he averaged more than 11 points or 7.5 rebounds a game? Sometimes he doesn't even start. And yet, there is a certain sect of followers who feel Amir Johnson is among the most valuable, efficient players in the league.
Bradley's checked in for the Celtics. Now Thomas. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. The Celtics really seem to get better as last season wore on, too. GA finished the year looking very dangerous.
And Kevin, with the Celtics, they were dynamite after the All-Star break. Had the second-best record in the Eastern Conference post-All-Star.
You know, one of the big things for the Celtics after the All-Star break was they played smarter. I mean, they went from the middle of the pack in terms of turnovers to a team that rarely made mistakes.
Now here's Teague. Millsap left side. Rebound, Boston.
Yeah, that's a good point about the Celtics and their turnovers. Last year, after the All-Star break, they were 4th in the league in limiting their mistakes. They played well beyond their years down the stretch.
Now, here's Thomas. Following the miss by Paul Millsap. And the shot's good from Crowder.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And, Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way.
Celtics ball.
And a look here at the most accurate shooting guards in the NBA this season. And you look at Korver. And, of course, C.J. Miles.
You know, in tight or outside, these are all very reliable and consistent shooters. It's a safe option to put the ball in their hands and let them create something for themselves.
Boy, it does smooth things out for a team to have a two-guard like one of the guys we're seeing there. I mean, you don't need to draw up anything fancy for these fellas. Just call an isolation and they'll get you something good.
Now here's Sullinger. He's got 10. Puts it up from 12. Jeff Teague with the rebound. The Hawks trail it. He dishes it to Korver. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Korver's got his second bucket.
I tell you what, fellas, we're seeing some really good ball movement out there.
Definitely. 10 of their last 12 points have come off assists.
Now a timeout called by Boston. Well, you just watched Jeff Teague. He's a natural scorer, Clark. He's also made steady improvement as a playmaker.
Yeah, you look at his assist rate, Kevin, well in the top 10 in the league. He's cut down on his turnovers as well. You can tell he's starting to really figure it out in the game and slowing down for him.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Mike Scott's checked in for Millsap. Ken Bazemore comes in for Cephalosha. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Kyle Korver.
Whoa. That'll wake you up. My goodness.
Is he an athlete or what?
No doubt about it. It's almost as if he lives in the air, and dunks like that have become quite commonplace.
Here's Bazemore. Tries it from 19 and misses it off the right side of the rim.
And he's also as athletic. You know, sometimes you forget that. I mean, this guy's got the tools also to be a terrific defender. And I still think he's developing consistency at that end of the floor.
Now here's Sullinger. He's coming off a 25-point game against Indiana.
Boy, was he physical. I mean, in that game, just drawing a lot of contact and getting himself to the line over and over.
Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession.
And while we have a chance, how about the numbers for Horford? 3rd in scoring, 4th in field goal percentage, and he's an elite glass eater, a factor inside among the top 10 in rebounds per game.
You know, to do what he does, you have to have that scorer's mentality. I mean, he knows he's the go-to guy, and everybody else knows it too.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Splitter comes in for Al Horford. And Tim Hardaway Jr. subbed in for Jeff Teague.
And speaking of Jeff Teague's defense, I mean, his rebounding, I think, could also be a little higher. I mean, with his bounce, he can get in there and grab a few more.
And Mike Scott, a former second-round draft pick who has carved out a role here in the NBA the last 2 seasons, Clark. He was a major contributor off the bench.
Yeah, he's a bit of a tweener, you know, not big enough to maintain position down low on a consistent basis and not quick enough to really be a 3-man or small forward, but what he can do is get to the basket, rebound okay, and knock down the deep shot.
The Hawks have gone 8 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. Really flowing here. Hits the jumper in space. Scott's got 4 points in the quarter.
Boy, what a significant turnaround here in the second quarter after only making 40% from the field in the first.
Pass to Bradley. Plenty of space. Rebound by the Hawks.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Schroeder passes to Splitter. Scott inside. Thomas is there. And stolen by Thomas. He kicks to Bradley. Jordan the screen. Bradley with room to shoot. And he gets the shot to fall after coming off the pick. Bradley's got 6.
How about the screen that frees him up, though, for the jumper?
Schroeder it to Bazemore. To the left wing. Takes a three. And that one's good. Schroeder.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Now here's Thomas. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Beyond the arc. Offensive rebound, Celtics. Bradley dishes to Jordan. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Complete domination. What a game for Jordan. He has 8 points and 1 assist.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for Atlanta.
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passing. That could set the tone for the rest of the game.
And also knocking down the mid-range because they're making good decisions with the basketball.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Tyler Zeller's checked in for Jared Sullinger. Turner comes in for Jay Crowder. And Hunter subbed in for Thomas. Now here's Bradley. Coming in off a 10-point game his last outing. Here's Hunter. Jordan the screen. Back to Bradley. Rebound by the Hawks. Splitter's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Atlanta leading by 5. Some firepower, Clark, from this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air of confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, they got a nice groove going right now offensively. Clearly, they've been the hotter team here in the first half.
Well, they've been grit and grind, working for those high percentage shots, and quite honestly, it's paid off for them.
Here's Hunter. 9-point game his last outing. Zeller passes to Turner. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. And there's the foul. Goes in Evan Turner. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
That's the risk you run by staying out there as he picks up his 3rd.
C.J. Miles. He's checked in for Bradley. Stolen by Miles. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And, Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
Clark, one thing about the Hawks last year is they were very strong on the road, as you could have guessed.
Yeah, but Kevin, they struggled a little bit down the stretch on the road, but still managed to have the best road record in the East.
Atlanta calls timeout.
And how about that road record for the Hawks? 25-16 last season. 9 of those wins came during that 19-game winning streak in early 2015.
Jared Sullinger's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. There's 57 seconds left here in the second. Schroeder kicks to Splitter. Boom, he jams it straight down.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
Here's Sullinger after the basket by Atlanta. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And there's the foul. This goes against Atlanta.
Boy, you look at the Hawks, and they seem to be built to play on the road because they can survive a player having an off game. They're so deep and versatile. Team basketball is a lot less prone to go cold when you're on the road.
Both free throws good from Sullinger.
And really a fantastic season for Sullinger last year. Really made some leaps forward, but missed a lot of time still due to injury.
Here's Bazemore. They set the pick. Hardaway, no good. Celtics trail by 3. Pass to Hunter. This one for 3. Atlanta with the rebound. And here's Schroeder. From deep. Good work defensively by Turner. Here's Zeller, and no good trying to get that one. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back, Ernie John. A competitive matchup for Atlanta in the first quarter. They kept at it on both ends of the floor. That wraps it up for halftime as the game is just about to get going again in the
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. It's been a clinic out there by Jared Sullinger.
I know we've said this many times before, but what a great first half. Just an offensive juggernaut.
And, you know, in the end, I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about what a great second half he had, guys. I mean, he can usually keep it going for all 4 quarters.
And so in the game for the Hawks, Teague and Korver are the guards. Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. And it's Cephalosha in at the 3. Now here's Millsap. The pass to Teague. Shot clock at 5. And there's Millsap. That's good on the assist by Teague. Teague's got his 8th assist in the game. Celtics trail by 3. Outside Bradley. Sullinger the screen. Here's Thomas. They get it back. Jordan. And he throws it down hard with one hand.
And great effort on the boards, and what a move.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, you just will not see him ever quit on a play.
That guy is a handful. You've got to have a body on him, Clark, at all times.
And you know what? Sometimes that's not even enough. He'll go around, over, or through you to get to the pumpkin.
Now, here's Thomas. Jeff Teague unable to get his shot to go.
And he has slipped into a funk, Clark. You can see the confidence is shaken.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's very much deflated. The basket looks a lot smaller to him at this point, and the only way you can get out of it is to work yourself out of it.
Cephalosha misses.
But that would have been lucky had it fallen. Poor shot selection.
Yeah, look at the coach's face and the expression. It says all over it. Are you kidding me?
And stolen by Jeff Teague. And now around 2 minutes gone by in this half. He's looking for Horford and finds him. Tipped away. Stolen by Thomas. Outside Bradley. Jordan the screen. Crowder with it. 5 points in the game. Here's Sullinger. That's good. And it's Thomas picking up the assist. Thomas got 6 assists in the game. Clark, third quarter here, and 5 lead changes so far.
Yeah, it's really been a bit of a tug of war. Back and forth we go.
And, guys, neither team has been able to pull away.
Now, here's Teague. Back to Korver. Crowder with the steal. Now, here's Bradley. Outside Thomas. Six to shoot. Down low and stolen by Jeff Teague. Now the Hawks moving it the other way. Teague's got the ball. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. Last year, a good one for Jeff Teague, Clark. He was a first-time All-Star in this league.
He's a pick-and-roll technician. So good in reading the defense as he operates from that spot on the floor. He was really the catalyst for what was a really efficient offense for the Hawks.
Amir Johnson's checked in for Boston. Jordan sets the pick for Bradley. Off the pick. Celtics passing it around and stolen by Jeff Teague. And now here comes Teague leading the break. And that one's good. Teague's got 6 points.
That's how you make an impact with defense. Once the steal is made, you know they're going to be scattered. The floor is open. Take care of business.
always an advantage when you can get out in the open floor. You get much better rhythm offensively, and this lead, I think, is headed up.
Here's Crowder after the made shot from Jeff Teague. Puts up the baby hook. Was shot by Jordan, no good.
Jeff Teague, a real speed merchant. I mean, very tough to stay in front of. He can put you on skates, blow by, and get right to the rim.
Now, here's Millsap. He's got 13, and he uses the glass on the layup. And now a 5-point Atlanta lead.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Johnson with a screen on Teague. Thomas dishes to Jordan. Feeds it to Crowder. Good work defensively by Millsap.
And guys, Jeff Teague, an attack guard. He's just an average three-point shooter, but he gets to the free throw line in bunches, shoots at a high percentage, and has really revolved, I think, into one of the elite point guards in the league.
Millsap misses. Celtics trail by 5. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Now let's step back and have a look at the top passing teams in the NBA this season. The Celtics second, number 5, the Hawks.
Boy, it is so sweet to watch teams like these play the way they do. Moving themselves, excellent flow and rhythm to their offense, in large part because they love to find open teammates and get quality shots. 2 of the best in the league at assist.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Tyler Zeller's checked in for DeAndre Jordan, and it's Turner in for Jay Crowder. And that one's good, Millsap. Here's Thomas, looking for his first basket still in this one. Johnson with a screen on Teague. Johnson the screen. Thomas goes in, battles through traffic and lays it in.
How about the way he's able to angle his body to shield the big fella off and still get the finish?
You've got to be clever with your sleight of hand when you get inside and try to finish against the bigger guys. And he made it look easy that time.
From the wing, the rebound by Johnson. Johnson's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Now Thomas, right side Bradley, the 11-footer. Now the dish to Thomas. Johnson sends the screen for Thomas. Clock at 4. Open shot, Johnson. Al Horford with the rebound. Horford's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Here's Teague. He's got 6. He feeds it to Millsap. Passes it to Cephalosha. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Millsap.
It's still early on in the season, Kevin. But let's take some time to look at where the Celtics sit right now. 1st in fewest turnovers a game. 2nd in assists. And they're ranked 3rd in field goal shooting. This team has a lot of weapons, and guys are not afraid to share the ball to get good shots.
And, you know, going back to their turnovers, fewest in our league, that shows you the intelligence they play with. You have to beat them. They are not going to do it for you.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. C.J. Miles comes in for Thomas, and Hunter subbed in for Bradley. Johnson down low, guarded by Korver, and the slam dunk by Johnson.
And he just punishes the D for falling asleep at the wheel.
A little disorganized that time, and the result, 2 points in the loudest way possible.
Guys, there has to be better rim protection than that, though. Not very good.
Korver, good.
You know, it's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these 2 teams today.
It's a stark discrepancy when you look at the assist columns and you see that difference as far as the fluidity in their respective offenses.
Here's Turner after Kyle Korver's bucket. Picked by Zeller. And it's Turner off the drive. Johnson kicks to Miles. Here's Zeller. Well-placed jumper from the free throw line. Zeller's got his 2nd basket.
And that's the kind of move that will always pay off, even against tight defense like he was facing on that possession.
Here's Schroeder. Soft touch off the glass. Schroeder's got 6 points.
Oh, how sluggish was that defense?
Celtics trail by 3. It was a tough battle down the stretch, but the Celtics were able to get back into the playoffs last year.
And kind of just hovering around all season, but give them credit. They fought their way in and spent only 1 year out of the postseason in their rebuild.
Now here's Korver. He's got 6, and it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
The Celtics making a switch here. Sullinger's checked in, and Atlanta will go for a different look here. Splitter's checked in for Horford. Mike Scott comes in for Paul Millsap. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s checked in for Kyle Korver. And it's Kent Bazemore in for Jeff Teague. Well, last year, Tyler Zeller both started and came off the bench, showed he could be an effective player even when playing heavy minutes.
Yeah, and if you look at the games that he played as a starter, he increased his usage, and it didn't bother his production at all.
The Hawks making a switch here. Horford's checked in, and so Zeller nails both of them.
And for Zeller last season, his numbers were the same or better as a starter. His scoring picked up a touch. Still had a great field goal percentage, too, so really solid production in his first couple of years.
And the basket by Horford.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Now here's Turner. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Kicks it to Sullinger. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And I think the big thing for Zeller was that he found his role in the league. He knows he'll be an energy guy who has to make the most of his touches. And to his credit, he is nothing but a positive force on the floor.
And for Sullinger last season, further indication, Clark, that he needs to keep working on his conditioning.
And that was a concern coming into the league with Jared, is just how committed would he be to working on his body all the time and maintaining the level of conditioning that he needs. And injuries have been a part of that not being the case, but when he's out there, he's capable.
Good! And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Celtics.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
Yeah, and also the way they've been able to generate points off of the turnovers that they forced tonight has also helped.
And talking about Sullinger, you wonder if he's been in the right scheme for the past couple years. He's not a three-point shooter. He's a back-to-the-basket banger. You want proof, only hit 28% from behind the arc last season, and that was his career high.
Here is Miles. 5 points in the game. This is to Sullinger. Out to the wing. Here's Hunter. From out on the wing, he knocks it down. And it's a 4-point Celtic lead.
You know, on the topic of Sullinger, guys, he said publicly that people are doubting him. And he's right. I mean, until he gets in better shape and stays that way, there will always be questions surrounding that part of his game. Hopefully for him going forward, he can be more Duncan than Diallo in the way he treats his body.
And Dennis Schroeder out of Germany, his teammates give him a hard time about putting mayonnaise on everything. He eats a turkey burger with mayo before every game. And let me tell you, no need to change because he's settling in just fine.
And Schroeder, who's out of Germany, a pretty wealthy country, but he had a pretty hard scrabble upbringing.
Yeah, you know, he had some brushes with authority early on in his life. He's still relatively young, so in the past, I think he's in a really ideal situation in Atlanta right now, though.
Certainly the biggest surprise last year, Clark, was the play of the Atlanta Hawks. Few would have picked them to win the East at the start of the season.
Well, they did it, and they earned it. The Hawks didn't have any superstars on their roster, but they won with solid team play.
Now here's Zeller. He's got 6. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Zeller's got 8 points. The Hawks trail by 5.
And for the Hawks, they did end up with 4 All-Stars last season. As you said, it was all about how they worked together as a team.
Schroeder with the ball. Turner covering, and it's blocked. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Hawks will retain possession. Jordan, he's checked in for Boston.
DeAndre Jordan.
Bazemore for 3. No luck. Now Boston takes it the other way.
And, you know, around the NBA, the league recognized the Hawks were a complete team. Everybody played their roles superbly. The NBA named all 5 of their starters the Player of the Week last year in an unprecedented move. So far, going for more of an inside game here in the second half, and I like that. A little smash-mouth basketball, taking it inside.
Tim Hardaway Jr., the son of the great Tim Hardaway Sr., had a very good rookie season. However, last season, Clark, not the improvement that some were hoping to see on him.
Kevin, you knew the expectations were going to be high going forward, very high. But sometimes you step back before you move forward. He only shot 39% last season, very low for a guy of his caliber.
Oh, how pretty was that? Used the rim to protect the ball perfectly.
Schroeder kicks to Horford. They set the pick. Pick by Horford. Hardaway passes to Horford. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls. Horford's got 4 points now in the quarter. The Celtics with the lead.
And they can guarantee this is the last possession of the quarter if they hold it.
And I'm guessing that's exactly what they're probably going to do here.
Now Miles. Just 3 on the clock, and that's 2 points on the layup. Miles has got 7. The third quarter comes to a close. Celtics out in front. They're up by 4. And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter, and if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. The Hawks trail by 4. Thomas is the point with Bradley into his side. Jay Crowder out there with Jared Sullinger. And it's Jordan in at the center, locking down the middle. That's who's in the game for the Celtics. And that one's good. Millsap.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
Celtics on offense. Outside Thomas. The feed to Sullinger. Back to Thomas. Nice ball movement by Boston. Second chance shot. And again, it's DeAndre Jordan. And the Celtics lead by 4.
And that's a great play on the backboard for him. I mean, it's what we expect. All his second chance points do not come by accident.
Now, here's Teague. And it's blocked by Jordan. Here's Splitter. Well, it was only a matter of time, but they finally get the bucket.
Loose D here. Critical stretch. I mean, you better off sending him to the free throw lines than to have them get that good a look.
And it's Bradley off the drive, the 11-footer, and Sullinger missing. Atlanta's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. Teague against Thomas. Teague kicks to Millsap. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. It's on Jared Sullinger.
And Paul Millsap, guys, the only player to lead the NCAA in rebounding 3 straight seasons back in college. A former second-round pick, was kind of slept on, but now clearly making his mark in the NBA.
Shooting 2. Shooting 2.
Makes it, and the next one could tie it up. Greg, you were talking about Millsap's ferocious rebounding. He battles inside, but Clark, he is so skilled.
Yeah, he's just really a good all-around basketball player. He can pass, handle, step out, and hit the 3. Very, very versatile. He makes an impact on the game a lot of ways. Now
here's Thomas. Jordan with the screen on Teague. Here's Thomas. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup.
And the double clutch layup in that situation, that's just him playing to the crowd, guys.
Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. Teague kicks to Millsap, and he takes the feed in stride and slams it home.
Rising high to throw that one down.
Sky high. Fantastic one-hand jam.
Nice way there, guys, to finish up that possession.
Now, here's Thomas. And he makes good on the layup. Thomas got 4 points now in the quarter.
And he's showing signs now of life after going scoreless through the half.
Teague drives in.
The story in the first half was their low free throw percentage. They've corrected that here in the second half, and hopefully they can build on it as this game continues to progress.
2 shots. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
Been a stellar outing in this one for Teague. He's got 8 points, and the assist numbers tremendous.
His court vision is on par with anybody. I mean, he could not pass the ball any better than he is right now.
Time call here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. The short rest, very important, and one of the benefits of this part of the game is getting on the same page with your team while having the chance to hydrate with Gatorade. Replenish your energy for the late game push. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Brad Stevens had some words for his team over the break. As this game enters winning time, and it really could go either way, he wanted the chance to check in, make sure they're all on the same page, and sticking to the game plan to close it out. Kevin?
And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play. They'll put Amir Johnson on the line. Paul Millsap picks one up. The Hawks have gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. And Thomas over to help. Back to Teague. To take the lead. And the basket good. And the Hawks lead by 1. I think, Clark, we can expect a dramatic end to this one.
Well, 8 lead changes would have you thinking that would be the case.
Yeah, no quit by either side, guys. Neither team willing to give any ground.
Now, here's Thomas. Here is Miles. Clock at 6. Johnson goes in, and he goes in for the dunk.
And the deeper we get into this game, it seems like the more the offenses are in rhythm.
Without question. I mean, both of these teams are firing on full broadband bandwidth. I mean, full throttle ahead.
So it's Atlanta now, following the bucket by the Celtics. And here is Teague. He dishes it to Splitter. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. And the one thing Thiago Splitter gives you every year, Clark, is consistency. The numbers, the effort, the results, all very familiar every year.
Yeah, his game is really built on the intangibles. He hustles. He knows where he's supposed to be. He gets to the right spot at the right time, crashes the boards, takes charges. He does all the little stuff.
Boston making a switch here. Sellers checked in.
And for Thiago Splitter, he's been a relatively unsung player in his career, never getting his number called on offense, receiving little recognition from the media, but providing tough defense in the post. He shot over 55%, crashes the boards in the 20 minutes or so a game that he gets. So that's been good enough to really establish a productive career.
Here's Teague following the three-pointer by Boston. Misses the 3.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
And here's Miles outside.
Well, he had 1 3-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
Teague against Thomas. Korver gets a wide-open look. Teague dishes to Splitter. That's good.
Well, they were sleeping on defense. The defense really didn't do its job. I mean, a little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint. That's costly.
And at this stage of a tight game, the tired legs really start to show. A defense becomes vulnerable if you can continue to pound it inside.
Here's Thomas after the basket by Atlanta. Miles the pass to Johnson. Rejected by Millsap. Teague with the ball. Launches a three. And Boston with the rebound. Zeller's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
You know, getting back to Splitter, yes, you need superstars to win in this league, but you also need guys like him, guys who put the team first, will bust the gut to carry out their responsibilities on the floor, off the court, and in the locker room. You need all of that to be a championship team.
T kicks to Splitter. Now here is Cephalosha. Splitter sets a screen. Korver attacking. Johnson with the block. Now Miles. Out to the right wing. Johnson the screen. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. Al Horford's checked in for Splitter. And for C.J. Miles, he sure can string together a long line of threes under the league with a nice jump shot that has now become deadly.
Yeah, he doesn't get to the free throw line much, and he's not really much of a playmaker, but he's 3D in color. HD 3D.
And talking about C.J. Miles, he was filthy last year. Indiana needed his spark offensively, especially without Paul George in the lineup. Miles responded by putting up career highs in points and minutes played. Just an unbelievable impact on the season.
Now here's Thomas, following the miss by Al Horford. Down low, got a piece of it, and stolen by Cephalosha. Outside Teague. Zeller grabs the board.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter. And for most every team out there, guys, they're looking for a guy like C.J. Miles. Decent size, natural movement skills, and can absolutely shoot the lights out. Call them buckets, because that's a lethal formula. Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
And there's the foul. It goes on C.J. Miles. That's foul number 2 for him.
And now only 1 away from being in the penalty.
Yep, the next one puts them on the line, so they've got to be careful the rest of the way.
Jared Sullinger's checked in for Boston. Avery Bradley comes in for Jay Crowder. And the Hawks making a change here as well. Schroeder's checked in. Horford, good.
And you could tell they had that play ready to go. Well done on the inbound.
Boston's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Here's Thomas. Picked by Zeller. And here is Thomas. Pass to Sullinger. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Not enough on that one as it misses. Hawks have gone only 6 of 14 from the field in the fourth to tie it up. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
And, you know, the defense gets their money's worth on that foul, stopping the layup and not giving up the and one. You look at what Schroeder has done so far. He's got 8 points and 8 dimes. He's getting it done, making plays by setting up his teammates and grabbing some nice boards, too.
And also, how about the intangibles? All the little things that he's done. That's also really important.
DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Tyler Zeller. Now here's Sullinger. Paul Millsap with the rebound.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Here's Cephalosha. Terrific assist. A nice finish. Solid play all around.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read how that play was going to develop and where the ball was going. That's stuff that you oftentimes can't teach, Greg.
So it's Atlanta now after the basket by Boston. From 7, it falls for his 7th bucket of the contest. He's 7 for 9. The Celtics have gone 8 of 16 from the field in the fourth, exactly 50%. Thomas with the ball. Sullinger the screen. Thomas goes in, kicks it to Jordan. And Dennis Schroeder hits the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
Jay Crowder's checked in for the Celtics. Outside Thomas. Inside. And it's Jordan with the jam.
Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
Millsap a screen. Schroeder passes to Millsap. No luck. Good D by Jordan. And they're in position to take the lead.
You know what? A bucket here would mean a bunch at this stage of the game.
Now here's Schroeder. Horford with the screen on Thomas. Schroeder kicks to Korver. There's the triple. And a clear foul there as he shot the triple. He'll go to the line for 3 free throws.
Yeah, good job trying to get a hand in the face, but you've got to be more careful.
Especially on the three-point attempt. I mean, you have to defend that shot without fouling. Now you give a guy 3 free throws.
And he nails the third.
Check out the game for Korver. He has 8 points, and he's getting it done on the glass, too.
You're right, Clark. He's done some real nice work on the inside.
Now, here's Thomas. Sullinger the screen. Puts up a 3. Bradley can't get it to go. The Hawks leading. Now Cephalosha. He kicks it to Millsap. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Pass to Schroeder. Feeds it to Cephalosha. Atlanta needs to get off a shot here. That's a 2 from Korver, and right on target. Good. Korver's got 4 this quarter. Boston's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the 4th quarter. Outside Thomas. Here's the pass to Bradley. To the paint. Here's Sullinger. And he uses both hands to jam it in.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
Time call here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They're up by 2. 1:44 left to play in the final quarter. .144 left here in the 4th quarter. Horford with a screen on Thomas. Now here's Schroeder. Tight defense on him. Offensive rebound. Boston trailing. Thomas kicks to Jordan. And he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
And he better stay with those basics because this game is still yet to be determined.
The Celtics dancers.
.122 left in the 4th quarter. And a dunk by Horford.
Well, he's an undersized center, but he more than makes up for it with some serious leaping ability.
There's the dish to Bradley. Back to Thomas. Jordan the screen. Thomas passes to Jordan. Down low. Sullinger. And it's sent back by Horford.
I tell you, somebody got to Al Horford. He's playing with a lot of fire.
Bradley against Korver. 46 seconds left to play here in the 4th. Here's Bradley. He feeds it to Sullinger. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That one on Horford.
Well, Sullinger has been great. 25 points, and he's given them a lot of points from the free throw line.
And he's done a fantastic job, Clark, of just getting to the line, but also converting.
And the second of 2 is good. That narrows the lead down to just 3.
He gets them to within one possession, but that miss puts a lot of pressure on their defense.
Sullinger against Horford. Buries it. 26 seconds left in the fourth quarter. To the right side. Cephalosha with the steal, and that's an intentional foul. He hits the first one, and that increases their lead to 6. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 7-point game.
Job well done at the line on that possession. They'll make things a little easier on themselves if they can convert those.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They trail by 7. 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. What do you think, guys?
And look, this one's out of reach. I don't know what they're thinking with this timeout.
Neither do I. I mean, maybe they're going over their plans for after the game. Who knows? But let's just get out of here.
Celtics foul call.
And now they decide to foul intentionally.
That's his first personal foul. At the line for the Celtics, Dennis Schroeder. 2 shots.
So the first one drops, and that increases their lead to 6. And he cannot convert on the second. That misses. Thomas goes in. Rebound, Atlanta.
Well, he gets it in close, but you have to credit that stifling defense for forcing the miss.
Exactly, Greg. I mean, defense like that really increases the degree of difficulty on that shot by a large amount.
He drops the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And the second free throw, no good. A tough break there. Here's Hunter. Gets the bucket.
My goodness, how about the degree of difficulty on that shot?
When you're hot, you're hot. And he is absolutely scorching.
And so it's the Hawks who come out on top. This was a hard-fought, well-earned victory for them, Greg. They really had to work for this win.
That's a good point. I mean, weaker teams might have buckled at the end with the crowd amped up, everyone in the building.
Gentlemen,
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Hi again, everybody. This is Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Al Horford. He had an outstanding fourth quarter where he really shined, pouring it on heavy down the stretch.
Well, he showed us just how.
And folks, that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. For Kenny the Jet Smith, for Shaquille O'Neal, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a great night.